Today I wanted to share with you my minimalism journey, so how and why I even started. If you're new around here, I'm Madeline. I'm a mom of two. We're living in the UK, but I am originally from Transylvania, Romania. So I thought I would kind of give you a bit of a background on why I decided to pursue this minimalism and decluttering journey. It was about 5 years ago, I would say, that we went through a pretty traumatic experience with my first baby. He had major surgery when he was about 11 months old, and I do feel like that was a bit of a trigger for us to want to make a change. This wasn't when I started becoming a minimalist, but we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, we did feel like we needed a change after he had his surgery. He was, all good to go, and we decided to move country. So we were living back in Romania, and I don't know if there was just one thing, but it was a whole variety of things that spurred this on. So we decided a bit on a whim. I've always loved English, so an English speaking country was, very appealing to us. So we came to London on a whim. My son was 1.5 years old, I think, at the time. I was still on maternity leave, and my husband decided to look for a job to see if it would be a possibility for us to move here. So we went to London together, all of us, just to kind of see what our life would look like there. He went to a bunch of interviews, he got a job, and so we decided, okay, we're moving country. So we went back to Romania and we decided, okay, let's see what we're gonna pack with us, right? Because we're moving across the country and we don't want to bring everything that we have. And we used to live in a flat. It was a two-bedroom flat. It was 2 bedroom and the living room, and it was quite spacious. But looking back, I do realize we had so much stuff, so many little storage areas that were just full with stuff we didn't actually need. But when we moved country, we did decide to declutter a lot. So we donated a lot of things, we gave a lot of things to friends and family. We didn't really sell a lot because it was just kind of, we needed to, do this process quite fast. But yeah, we massively decluttered back then, and we actually moved to the UK with only 6 boxes worth of stuff. Like, that is insane looking back, that we only moved with such little amount of stuff. We didn't actually need that much, and I think that process did make us realize that. But at the same time, we actually got back to a cluttered up point again. So yes, we moved with just 6 boxes, and mind you, they weren't like huge, large moving boxes. And we moved to this small flat in London, possibly the smallest flat there is. I'm joking, but it was quite tiny, and so we were so happy there. I don't feel like the space that we had there, was an indicator of how happy we were, because I truly enjoyed our experience there and it was such a fun time. Then after a year of living in that small flat, we actually moved to a bigger house. It was a 3-bedroom house. It had garage, shed, lots of storage. So we thought, this is brilliant, right? And we lived in that house for about 3 years, a bit over 3 years. And the amount of stuff that we had accumulated in just those 3 years in our garage and our shed is honestly insane. It became a dumping ground for a lot of things that, you don't want to deal with them right away, like boxes and just old toys and old bikes and just so many different things like that you don't want to deal with. You're not using them anymore, but you just don't feel like taking care of them, so you're just dumping them in there. And now that I look back, I feel like having a garage like that is actually such a dangerous thing, because it can so easily become a dumping ground, like a graveyard of all of your stuff and clutter. And during those 3 years when we lived in that house, we also struggled a lot with infertility. It was probably one of the darkest times. We had a lot of testing done. We had 4 baby losses in that time. But then at the end of last year, I found myself heavily pregnant, and we were so excited to have a new baby. But at the same time, I was starting to feel really anxious, because we already have a 5-year-old, and I was already overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that we had in the house. And I do think a lot of the times I was really good at stuffing things out of sight, of hiding the clutter in closets or wardrobes or garage or whatever, but it was there and it was definitely stressing me out. And so I was thinking, if I am overwhelmed now, when I'm gonna give birth to that baby, this is gonna become insane. So I knew I needed a change. So I actually started doing a bit of research, right, into clutter. I started reading some books like Minimalist, Goodbye Things by Fumio Sasaki. I started watching all the YouTube videos and just kind of, I felt really inspired to let go of the clutter. And the more I researched this, the more I realized that clutter had a massive effect on my anxiety, my stress levels, and just kind of that overwhelm and overstimulation, you know, when you walk in a room and it's full of toys on the floor or crumbs and plates. And if you're a mom or if you're a parent, you know what that feels like. And sometimes you feel like even when you go and tidy and clean, it's never gonna last, or you know, it doesn't really look like it's all finished. So going on this decluttering journey, I started, you know, picking up one box at a time, one donation box, one rubbish bag. So we started decluttering, and I believe we let go of more than half of the things that we used to have. My wardrobe was bursting at the seams. Our garage again was full, the shed as well. We had so many toys as well, and a lot of the toys were actually in storage too, because my son wasn't playing with them anymore. And so we just started letting go of anything that we weren't actually using and that wasn't bringing value to our lives. And you know, with every single donation box that went out, or with every single rubbish bag, every single item we sold, which wasn't necessarily a lot because we did donate a majority of things, but with every single thing that left the house, I could feel more and more like air come in. I could feel, you know, this relief that I could open up my wardrobe and not feel stress and overwhelm. And it wasn't just one weekend where we decluttered. It was kind of a process that we went through over months and months, and over the past year, and even now I'm still decluttering, because I do find you need to go in layers, because the first time you declutter, you're probably not gonna let go of as much as you probably need to in order to have that calm space. And that's fine. I do think, you know, you need to kind of exercise your decluttering muscle before you can actually make those decisions that you need to make to regain your space back. But yeah, it did take, it's kind of like peeling layers, right? You need to go over an area probably more than once, but I do find that going through little areas at a time and just kind of doing 15 minutes or 20 minutes, however long I had, just doing one cupboard, just one bit of the garage, just one little thing at a time. Because if you try to do too much in one go, you're probably just gonna give up and you're gonna feel overwhelmed, because it is overwhelming going through all of that clutter. So yeah, just going small bits here and there is definitely so helpful. Our home is so much more simplified now. It feels so much better, and I'm not here pretending like my house doesn't get messy. It definitely does. We have two little ones. I have a 6-year-old and a 10-month-old, and our house definitely gets messy. There are often toys on the floor. The difference is that it doesn't overwhelm me like it used to, because everything has a space to go back to, and it's really easy to tidy up as well, because there's not much to tidy up. Like in the kitchen, I find it really easy to get it back to that, you know, standard clean state, because when I go to put things back in the cupboards, they are not stuffed. There's lots of space in there, and that helps a lot. And it's funny looking back, because I used to think, you know, minimalism was this extreme thing that you had to get rid of all the things you love and only keep like 10 items. But it's not about that at all. It's about letting go of the excess stuff that you don't really need or use anyway. So letting go of all of that excess, so that you can enjoy the stuff that you love even more, so that you can have more time and energy for the things that truly matter, like your family, which is probably what it is for most of us, right? So if you've been thinking about decluttering your house but you have no idea where to start, then I hope you stick around on this channel, because I am going to give you more tips. And I also have a free simple decluttering checklist for you that will be linked in the description box to really help you get started. Thousands of people have already downloaded the checklist, and lots of people have gotten back to me telling me it's so useful. I just poured as much as I could in there to give you the steps that you need to get started. So thank you for coming along on this journey with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!